Hi, Alexandra. Thank you very much for joining me and for accepting this interview. I wanted to ask you a few questions regarding marketing and how has been your experience in all of this industry. So I understand that you're currently the CEO of an agency, a marketing agency.
Correct. Yeah. Hi.
And I wanted to, ask you a couple of questions. But first, I wanted to start with you, like walking me through your experience and what has led you to be the, current CEO of a marketing agency. How has been your career path? And tell me a little bit more about yourself.
Great. Well, thank you, Adriana, for inviting me. It's an honor to be with you today. Well, tonight. Yeah, of course. My journey has been, I have had my ups and downs as anyone, but I started my journey in marketing in 2018, right after I graduated from college, when I was actually unemployed and trying to figure out what to do with my life. I kept asking myself what I genuinely enjoy by that time. And I realized I was always drawn to visual communications, things like social media, photography, and overall look and feel of the brands, right? So I started very organically by creating and sharing content and even teaching others what I was learning along the way. That's how I started. At first, I was very hesitant to put myself out there, but once I did, I was discovered by an agency in Ecuador. Uh,
Okay.
yeah,
Wow.
which is Altitude Agency. Hi, team,
Okay.
if you're seeing it. And so I started working with them as the face of the brand. That experience gave me a lot of exposure and responsibility as well.
Of
So
course.
around that time, I also started working as a freelancer. I had the both jobs. I was the face of that agency, and also I had my own clients. And so that's how I built my own client base and portfolio. And through
Okay.
that process, I realized that eventually I wanted to build something on my own. I wanted to have my own agency. So little by little, my workload grew to the point where I needed help. I needed a team. So, and that's how my agency started through that process. And yeah, that's pretty much how I ended up being the CEO of my agency. We started in 2020 during COVID.
Wow, during the pandemic, you were like all doing this, like creating your agency from scratch, basically.
Yeah, well, at that point, I was didn't even thinking that I wanted like this agency that I have now. I mean, it only happened through the time, but yeah, I started having some clients and hiring some friends and that's how you build your team.
Of-
That's how you learn how to, people recommend you and that's the best that could happen if you do something with love and with passion. People will love your work and will start recommending you.
Wow,
That's my
yeah,
credit.
that's inspiring, actually.
Thanks.
Um, okay, that's great. So you're currently like the CEO of your agency, and I mean, like, I think it's a very big agency, right? Like,
Yeah, I mean, we have different departments.
okay,
How do you say that in English? Unidades de negocio. Um,
work units, I think it.
Work unit, yeah. We have different work units. I mean, it's not that I call. I mean, I don't like to call myself the CEO because it's
Okay.
weird. But at the end of the day, I have a business partner, and I have my own role in our business, and she has her own role. She's more in the operation part, so she's the
Okay.
COO, and I'm in charge of other decisions to grow the company, to look up for new work opportunities, to new alliances, and well, of course, clients, and how the brand looks, and how we're going to grow to different countries, because we're based in Panama, but we are still working to have some new locations coming up for a spot.
Oh, okay, that's great. Well, when
Yeah.
you're in Miami, let me know.
Of course.
Um,
Okay.
so you were mentioning something about branding or the brand that you currently have, and that's one of the things that I like. like the most about marketing, and it's like what's the branding or how do you build a brand.
Yeah.
So one of the questions that I wanted to ask you is what from your point of view, what makes a brand to truly stand out nowadays?
That's a great question because I think authenticity will be the word for me, or the art or the answer for me, because even though it might feel that everything has already been done, what truly makes a difference, it's how you adapt things on your own, with your own voice and style. So I guess that's how I will advise brands to be, like, people connect with brands that feel human and brands that show personality and are able to build real connections.
Yeah.
So for me, it's that. So, and a connection can come in different ways, whether it's through valuable content, humor, or simply being relatable. So, but at the core of it, authenticity, it's what really stands out for me.
Okay. Well, yeah. No, that makes sense. And what do you think brands often get wrong when they are trying to connect with their audiences?
um, when brands try to speak to everyone, when they don't,
Have like a
instead of,
customer persona or something
yeah,
like
instead of really understanding a specific audience.
that? Okay.
For me, when brands try to appeal to everyone, they usually end up sounding generic and disconnected. So that's why authenticity and to have the time to really get to know your audience, it's so important. And that's why agency, it's to have an agency, if you don't have the time to understand and to really do the social listening as well, it's so important, because as a brand, that's the point. If you're going to invest in marketing, it's really important to take this part very seriously, because if not, you will end up broke. Because at the end of the day, if you try to speak to everyone and you don't have any specific audience, at the end of the day, that's what's going to happen. Like, you will end up spending lots of money with ads and or whatever. If you pay, I don't know, a videographer or photographer to help you out to create content. So that's why this core and this part is so important when you start to build a brand.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. And once like a brand manages to truly connect with their audience,
Mhm.
how do you keep that connection over time? Because sometimes I think like the world is changing very fast and there are a lot of things and a lot of
Yeah.
brands. So how do you keep them engaged with your brand and like this loyalty with the brand?
I would say consistency, but not only with postings. I mean, you can
Okay.
have consistency in different ways. You can be consistent in messages
Okay.
and tone as well. Once you build that connection, you need to keep showing up in a way that feels aligned with what your audience expects from you. I also think that it's important to keep listening and evolving. Our audience change, trends change, and brands need to adapt without losing their essence. So it's really about building a relationship, not just a moment.
Okay. Okay. Whoa. Okay. And no, that's great. Um, Looking at your experience, what are the biggest lessons that have shaped you the way you approach marketing today?
Marketing, it's always evolving, so you have to stay curious and open to change. Another important takeaway is that the value of humanizing brands, even at a leadership level, with this, I mean, with the C level. I don't know if you have seen this couple of last days, a lot of CEOs coming up and stepping forward and becoming part of the brand's voice. I don't know if you have seen
Yes,
the
yes,
McDonald's campaign. Yeah.
yes, that I was going to mention that. Yeah.
Uh-huh. So yeah, that's important because makes company feel more relatable and trustworthy. I also think that social listening is a key, as I mentioned before. Understanding what your audience and your industry are talking about allows you to stay relevant and create content that actually connects. And finally, I believe that LinkedIn, it's still
Okay.
very under utilized platform. I think people don't, how to say this? It's not, it's taken for granted, you know,
Okay.
for me, because a lot of brands focus on Instagram or TikTok, but there's a huge opportunity on LinkedIn for both personal and corporate brands to grow and build meaningful visibility. So that's another lesson that I have this. I mean, I think from this last year, because I started to be more consistent in more constant in on LinkedIn. So I
Okay.
started to see the results. So that's why I kept telling my clients that, we should start paying more attention to LinkedIn.
Yeah, no, I love LinkedIn. It's like my social, like my favorite social. Uh, I
You
love.
know, yeah, because I don't know if you have heard from this concept, dumb scrolling.
Yes, yes, I've heard of it.
So I don't know if this happens to you, but every time I go into LinkedIn, that doesn't happen to me. But if I go to TikTok, which I could spend hours and hours looking up to, I don't know, whatever, any content, it's more easy for you to have dumb scrolling. But on LinkedIn, I don't know if it's like you will always learn something, whether it's from an experience from someone who's your colleague or another brand that has, I don't know, whatever. But yeah, that's why I love LinkedIn, because I don't feel like I'm wasting my time. Every time I go into the platform, I will learn something.
Yeah, you're really learning something. Yeah, I agree. I totally agree with you. And I'm a big team of Instagram and TikTok and all of that.
Yeah,
So
both.
yeah.
Yeah, totally.
So yeah. Well, I have a bonus question
Oh,
that
okay.
just came to my mind.
Okay.
As you know, I'm currently finishing my master's in marketing, and I'm looking like to opportunities, to work opportunities, or like I'm going to deep dive in the field, and wanted to know like maybe like something that you will advise to someone that is starting in this industry. And yeah, what would you say, uh yeah, to someone that is starting in marketing?
Yes, I had the best advice for you, because it's the one that helped me through my career, which is
Okay.
create your personal brand, and don't ever wait for the perfect moment, because it's never gonna happen. It's never gonna be the perfect moment to start. Just start, take the courage and go. Don't ever stop yourself from posting just because you're afraid of what people are going to say. Start sharing what you like and what you learn, because you will never know. That's how I ended up where I am. Like, this agency in Ecuador hired me because they saw my content and they like my personality and they like what I was sharing. So that will be my best advice for you, because you will never know how that can help you and how where you're gonna end it up with your personal brand. Because at the end of the day, your personal brand, it's now your portfolio. People, companies will look at your LinkedIn or your Instagram or your whatever you will like to have your portfolio. So that will be my best advice to start today.
Okay, okay. Okay, perfect. So thank you very much for your time and for your insights. I find it really valuable, and I think I've learned in these minutes that we were speaking, I think I've learned a lot from you. And well, I've known you for a long time, so when they told me like, please contact someone or interview someone, the first person that came to my mind was you, because I believe that you are a really good professional, and you were I like you met my expectations, you know. I was like, okay, this is gonna
I have
happen.
chills.
So thank you
Thank
very
you.
much, Alexandra. um
Thank you, Adri. Thank you
I'm
so
gonna
much.
stop the recording now.